Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today we're doing a very quick card using a cut file that's available in my Etsy shop. I have, I think, 3 tree cut files in here. This is a 4-tiered one, there's a 5-tiered one, and then there's like an abstract one that has a few lines running through it. There actually might even be a 4th one, I don't remember, but I'll link it down below. And it's only a couple dollars. And you can cut out tree-shaped cards. They're already sized to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for you, so you don't need to change anything unless you want to scale these down and just use them on the base of a card. So what I'm doing right now is I am heat embossing Merry Christmas. This is a like mini stamp set from Altenew, and I'm going to ink it, heat set it from the back as always. It just gives smoother result, and then I'm gonna do it again because I found that it wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be, which generally heating from the back does help with that, but so once in a while, because this one is so like thick of a stamp, like all the letters are fairly thick, I just decided that it just needed a little bit more just to make it a bit smoother. So I am going to go over it again once it cools down a bit. Sometimes, you know, you get a little too excited to wipe off that embossing powder and then you end up smearing it because it's still a little bit warm. So make sure you like let it cool down before you do this. You don't want the hot heat embossing powder to ruin your stamps. So just like blow on it, shake the paper, do whatever. And then I'm going over it again. Then I'm going to fussy cut these with those Fisker scissors that I showed you guys last week. Again, I got them from Dollarama, so head to Dollarama if you're here in Canada and see if you can pick up yourself a set, because it's only like $5 and they're very sharp. They work great. So it's definitely like worth the price. I also love this Hero Art scrubbing tool. I'll link it down below as well. I find that it really helps get into the nooks and crannies of stamps when you're cleaning them, so it helps just like clean them up a little bit better. And right now I'm going to be using Simon Says stamp gingham background, and this is a well-loved stamp. I like to use this a lot, especially like Christmas time, Father's Day, you know, give that rustic buffalo check look. So I'm going to be doing that with this. This is doing it opposite. I learned this from Kathy Zielski's channel, where you kind of like put the stamp in the area where you would normally put your cardstock, and it just helps to add a little bit more pressure to the cardstock itself because you're doing it from the top. And I find that this works best for me. I do it, I think, in the opposite way in another video. Either way works. You just have to put a lot of pressure on, and I have to stamp this, I think 3 times I stamp it, maybe 2. If I was using my pigment ink instead of the dye ink, it would probably work a bit better, but I am too impatient to wait for that to dry, and I don't like heat setting everything, so I just use dye ink most of the time, just out of pure laziness. So sometimes, you know, you gotta stamp it a few times, and here I am like scrubbing at the stamp. Red rubber stamp backgrounds are great. I love these. They're pretty durable. You get a lot of detail into them, and they're very easy to clean off. It did have a little bit of ink left on it though, and I am not the smartest person all the time. I tend to like throw pieces here and there. A little bit of the ink does get on the back of that panel, but like not enough for it to bother me, so I don't really worry about it when I'm putting the card together. But I'm just going to take off that removable adhesive with my adhesive eraser, and then I'm going to start assembling this card. Again, this card is quick and easy. You just need to cut out 2 of these trees. You need a white one for the back. You could cut it in green as well, and then just cut like maybe a triangular pattern to put on the inside for you to write on that would fit within the card, or maybe even just like a little rectangle towards the bottom on the inside. But I usually cut the back one out of white and then the front one out of the color that I want to use. You could always use pattern paper for the front, but if it's too thin, make sure you're backing it on cardstock, so you would have to cut probably 3 layers. And what I just did was I lined up the flat base of the card up against the edge of my score tool, and I scored about 1 inch in from the end, so about 4.5 inches, and then that will give you the flap for your card opening. This is a quick and easy way to do shaped cards instead of trying to like create hinges and whatnot. And this is actually where I'm going to cut out the sentiment. I did set it aside earlier and decided to work on the base just to like let it cool down while I did that. Right now I'm just trying to get rid of as much of that powder as possible. You can use microfiber cloth like I was using. You can use your fingers. The oils on your fingers help clear that up a bit. You can use an eraser. I've shown that before. There's like multiple ways to get rid of it. And think the eraser method is probably best, but I was gonna fussy cut this pretty close to the sentiment anyway, so the microfiber cloth worked for my purposes for today. And I'm just doing a very rough outline. This is gonna blend into the background. I use the same color cardstock that I used for the tree front, and so it'll help like blend it in. I didn't want it to stand out too much, so I didn't want to do it like black on white or anything, so I did the white on the same green, and I think, you know, I like the way it turned out. And I'm also going to pop it up on some foam tape just in that like third tier area. I was thinking about putting it in the bottom and I was like, no, I need to like balance it a little bit more. So that was the perfect spot for it. And then I'm just going to add some pops of color in the color Ruby. It's like the glitter one. It is kind of like translucent, but there is quite a bit of glitter in it too. So it does look a little bit darker when it's on, especially a green base. But I still like the way this turned out. If I wanted to, I could use my red half pearls. They're a bit brighter, but I wanted to use these pops of color instead. But that's pretty much our card for today, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content. And I'll see you in a couple more days for another video. Thanks. Bye.